Twisted Travelers Podcast, your weekly dose of theme park news and entertainment. And now, here to talk all things coasters, theme parks, and even more, here are your hosts, Jack Lathrop and Chris Jones.
Hey everybody, welcome back to this week's episode of the Twisted Travelers Podcast. My name is Jack. I'm sitting here with my friend Chris. How's it going tonight?
What's up, everybody? Going good. I'm doing great. Ready to get into this. I don't think this is going to be a huge episode. We're doing something that we haven't done in a while. Should be fun. But yeah, a little bit of news, quick ride of the week, some questions, some fantasy, and we'll have a 10-year plan for Hersheypark at the end. So
yeah, we're going to talk about one of our favorite places to go. I know we're both excited to get back next summer.
Absolutely.
I think we're going to just end up fighting the whole day over Skyrush back left.
You can have it, man. The ride's good enough in general. I really don't care that much. I got to sit on it last year without moving, or this year without moving, so I've had my fix for a while. It hurt, but it was worth it.
It hurts, but it's a good hurt.
Y'all will see where it's ranked in the Twisted Traveler Rewards and know how much I love that. But anyways, before we get into it, we got some plugs and some shout-outs. So first off, Patreon shout-outs. Shout out Bryant, Graham, Grant, Jaden, Mark, Allison and Steven, Eric, and Mikhail. If you want to join the Patreon, link is in the description. You get all sorts of cool perks based on what tier you're at, and we love you a little bit more. So shout out to all of the patrons we have right now. We appreciate you as always. And real quick, I'm going to plug...
Maybe we'll do some mail soon. I don't know. So if you're not joined, if you haven't joined yet, you should join because mail's coming. And I mean, I have a bunch of crap I need to get rid of. And it's some cool crap. Like, who wants some stuff from Fantasia Land?
You know you do. But yeah. Obviously, don't feel obligated, but we would appreciate it if you did. Link is in the description. Also in the description is the following. You can find our Instagram at Twisted_Travelers. On Twitter, we are at Twisted Traveler, but the R at the end is a 1. For me, you can find me on Instagram at Twisted Travelers Chris, and for Jack, you can find him at Thrilling Moment on Twitter and Instagram.
The way you started that sounded so professional. Like, we could just use that clip every week and it would be perfect.
If you want to, I don't care.
That just involves more editing, though, which is something I don't want to do.
Right. But yeah,
so,
go follow.
Yeah. And with that, let's jump into our news with the happiest place on Earth turning 50 years old and the happiest Karens on Earth making absolutely no money on eBay.
Disney, shout out. Walt Disney World turned 50. Their celebration has started. Good for them.
So here's the real question for the audience. How long is it going to take before I go to Disney World?
Tron opening.
Okay. And how fast do you think I'm going to do it after Tron opens?
6 months.
I think he's pretty accurate. Well,
you've told me. That's why.
Yeah. Although the more I think about Tron, the more I'm like, do I want to wait 6 months?
I mean, it's up to you. It looks good. I just want it to open. But yeah, they're doing all their celebrations and stuff. I will say the thing that I'm most excited for. Oh yeah, by the way, I don't think I've said this on the podcast, but I have Disney passes again. I've been going the past couple weeks. I got them recently, so that's pretty cool. I really want to go back to Epcot and see Spaceship Earth all lit up the way it is. I want
to point a camera at that thing so bad.
I'm very excited to go back for that.
I want to look at that. Like, I see pictures and I'm like, there's no way pictures are doing this justice. I need to see this with my own eyes.
It looks so good. I'm genuinely so excited to go to Epcot at night soon and see that. But yeah, they're doing all their stuff. Good for them.
They don't need to get rid of those. They do not need to get rid of those lights ever.
Absolutely not. I need them to leave them forever, please. Like, I'd really appreciate it. It looks so good. Okay. But good for Disney. Congratulations.
The best thing to happen to Epcot since Epcot opened is them putting those lights on Spaceship Earth. Yeah, do I tell any lies? Because they got rid of Figment, so,
No, Figment's still there. They just ruined it.
Well, yeah, I
They
mean, I say they
ruined.
got
Well,
rid
they
of him. They
made
didn't get
Test
rid of
Track
him, but they've
worse.
ruined it.
They got rid of Maelstrom for Frozen. So yeah, there's a lot of bad.
Hmm.
But maybe the addition of
The lights
Soren.
are but it's not
That's
as
like the
good as the
only thing.
California version.
It's not, but like it's not a huge difference.
Yeah, so the lights are the best thing to happen to
It's up
Epcot
there.
since Epcot opened.
Maybe. They do look very good in the pictures I've seen. I can't wait to go see them in person. We
I,
kind
s-
of got off
I see
topic. Shout out Disney.
I I see the pictures and I'm like, ooh, this was taken on an iPhone. What would happen if I could unleash like an actual camera on these? I'm like,
Then
okay,
show
I'll
up.
stop. I'm not going until Tron opens, so
Yeah.
go get a hammer and finish Tron, and I'll come.
Hmm. So yeah, good for Disney. Another thing, one of the best parks in the world, if not the best, has some construction going on for 2023, and that is Silver Dollar City. So it's rumored that this could be a potential replacement for Fire in the Hole, as in
Mm-hmm.
Fire in the Hole closes, but they build something entirely new that's also indoors, indoor coaster maybe, dark ride maybe. Um,
So
Sounds good to
so
me.
this goes back. I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago that it was rumored that RMC was gonna build them like an indoor tracked dark ride. Basically, what I'm expecting is they're just gonna build something exactly like Fire in the Hole or Blazing Fury. Blazing Fury is already like 50% RMC track. Um, because apparently what's happened is Silver Dollar City's Fire in the Hole, the structure is beyond repair. Everyone always asks why Dollywood got rid of the splashdown on the ride. It was to save the overall ride. It sounds like Silver Dollar City just kept the splashdown and just let the rest of the thing fall into disrepair. Again, all rumors, but if it's true, it's sad because Fire in the Hole is a classic.
Modernized Fire in the Hole, I'm not going to complain about though. I mean,
Also, if they moved it over to like the fireman area of the park, that would make sense.
yeah, which I think it is. That is where the land clearing is, I think. So
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't be a surprise. I'll take it. I mean, obviously, Fire in the Hole is a classic. But if this is needed, go for it. I guess that's cool with
Yeah,
me.
we'll keep an eye on it because this 2023 project for FDC has been something a lot of people have wanted to talk about. So,
Hmm. Um, so next up is we'll talk a little bit about this even more later on, but that is that Sidewinder at Hersheypark is walled off. What's going on? I'm not sure. Could it be
neither
removed?
am I. We're
I'm cool with
hoping
it
it's
if it
getting
is.
removed because the world needs less Vekoma boomerangs.
Yeah, Sidewinder's not a good one. I know some people say, oh, vest restraints, but
I
Flying
don't.
Cobras is tolerable with them. Sidewinder isn't.
Yeah, we rode in the exact same row on Sidewinder, and we were both like crying in pain when we got off.
It was pretty bad. Uh,
It
I'm cool
was
with it just leaving.
scrapyard, please.
Please. We'll talk about what we
So
would like to
next
replace it
up,
later.
yes, we'll get to that. So, but next up, Wallaby Belgium's reopened after flood damage.
Shout out, James. Good for them.
God, good
Conda's not
luck,
open,
Dad.
right?
Have fun. Apparently, it is.
What? Really? I thought that it was going to take a little bit longer, but hey, if so, that's cool. Good for Wallaby Belgium. I, well done getting back open this year. I think they could have easily just decided we're done. We're going to take the rest of the year off, considering
I
it's
was gonna say it's
October already. But
October
I
in Europe.
commend
If
them
they'd
for
said,
going for it.
yeah, it's October in Europe. If they said they were going to be closed for the rest of the year, I wouldn't have batted an eye. But good for them for getting reopened. I'm not 100% sure if Conda is reopened, but I've seen some people saying that it is. So if it is, it is. If not, still good job getting the park open.
Very good job. Yeah, that that is definitely. They did not have to do that. That's just being a good park. Um, all right, last couple things. Tatsu might be getting repainted. Seen some samples.
I don't
I'm
like it.
curious your thoughts, Mr. Photographer.
I don't like it. Mm-mm. What do you think about it? Then I'll talk about my opinions on it.
I'm pulling up the picture again right now so I can see. Um, yeah, just give me a second. It was green, right? I'm pretty sure. I
It's
did
like
just kind of like glance past it.
lime frickin' violent green, like the color of that Mountain Dew can behind you green.
Oh, shout out Mountain Dew. Not sponsored. I'm trying to
But
pull
if
it
you want
back
to
up.
sponsor us, specifically with Baja Blast, we would appreciate it.
Shout out Taco Bell too. Not sponsored.
But again, we're open to it.
Why can't I find the picture? This is awkward. How y'all doing, everybody? While I look for this, let us know
I'll
in the
answer for
Discord.
them. They're doing great because they're listening to our podcast and not the Drunk Riders.
They, never mind. Join the Discord. Link is in the description to let us know how you are doing. We'd like to know. I'm sorry that this is going on like this right now. I can't find the picture.
I'm gonna see if I can beat you to it now.
Okay. Ah, there it is. That looks like Riddler
Darn it.
colors.
It looks
They
okay.
already have
This
a
is the
B&M colored that way.
Okay, the color it looks like to me is like Nickelodeon Slime Streak.
Kinda, which is also
Mhm.
it's unique the way it is. Leave it.
Okay, Tattoo is one of those rides I actually think the faded paint works really well on.
Just like Goliath at Over Georgia.
Yeah. And so I've always liked that. And I just feel like if you're going to paint the supports that color, and then they would give the track a new, probably coat of orange, it would just be so contrasty. It would, the way those supports are now, they like kind of just blend, they just kind of just disappear into the landscape. If you paint them bright green, it's going to stick out like a sore thumb. And that is your centerpiece ride at that park. I mean, it is on the hill. You can see it from literally anywhere in the park.
Yeah.
So
I
I just don't like the color. If they were painting the supports yellow or orange or red, something keeping it in the like fiery color scheme, I'd be down. But I can't get behind the green.
I agree. It just looks it just looks off
Is it
seeing it like
is it
that.
bad to say it looks cheap? Like they got a
No.
discount on green paint?
No, you already have a green B&M. This one had a pretty unique color scheme that looked good already. I'd leave it, but hey, I'll wait to judge more until we actually see it if they do repaint it, you know?
Magic Mountain, if you're gonna repaint a coaster, grab some pink and yellow and repaint X2.
I
Bring back the
can't
classic
agree
color
with that.
scheme. Bring
No.
back the
Ew.
classic color scheme.
No, I'm not. I can't support pink and yellow like that, man. The red and black looks good.
I mean, no, the red and black does look great, but I would love to have gotten the chance to take pictures of it with the OG color scheme.
But yeah, so we'll see what they do if they actually go with it. Last quick thing, Indiana Beach is getting another coaster, which I think it's a Galaxy, right?
Yeah, what a surprise. Gene Staples has bought another roller coaster.
And this one's gonna be done before the other, it looks like. Yeah, it is a
Yeah.
Galaxy. Good for them. Just keep investing, I guess. Don't go broke, Gene. That's all I can say.
Well, and like where they're building this ride, it's like he's playing Roller Coaster Tycoon. He's like, where can I fit another roller coaster in? Right there, build it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I just don't want him to go bankrupt and lose the park. But hey, go for it, man. I guess. More reason to go there. Mm-hmm.
Next summer. I'm going next summer. CCI. Yeah. I need it.
Got you. Well, that was news. Not too much.
More than last week.
Yes, that's true. Now it's time for Ride of the Week, though. So, Xcelerator wheel.
We're down to the one, the only Xcelerator.
That's right.
So
no need for the wheel.
No need for the wheel. No need for Chris's music. Sorry to everyone who likes it. You're welcome to all the haters. And also send us your ideas for Ride of the Week ideas in the Discord, so we know what to do next week.
Like a
But
description.
with that, we'll jump into Xcelerator. This was my 200th roller coaster, so special place in my heart. That being said, it's probably mine is yeah, it's probably my third favorite for going forward. This will be the third favorite one. Put King to Con last, then this Storm Runner, and then Dragster still takes first for me. But I love this ride. I love the color scheme. I love the trains. It's got a super cool vibe to it. The launch is ridiculous. The overbanks are a ton of fun. The big complaint is it's a short ride. And it's like, oh, you could have done more. It's not like Dragster is, where it's like it literally is just about height and speed. It's like, oh, you've got some overbanks. Could we got some airtime and maybe an inversion, please? What?
That's stupid.
Why is it stupid?
Because they attempted. Dragster and Ka didn't attempt to do anything.
Well, Dragster attempted to break down more than it did open, and it's succeeding.
Xcelerator at least does something.
Yeah, fair.
And also, you think they were going to throw in an inversion with T-bars back in 2002?
It's Intamin. I wouldn't doubt anything.
No, man. Whatever. Just finish.
I don't really have much else to add. Go ahead.
All right,
I can
fine,
tell I've
my
touched a
turn.
nerve.
No, you're good. It's just like, that was a dumb take. Sorry. Xcelerator is great. It is my least favorite, but I still love it. Like, I love all four of the Xcelerators. I thought hot take, this launch, probably the best of the four. It's just Dragster's sense of speed and twist down. Give that the edge. Ka, same thing. And then Storm Runner just does more than all of them. I really like the overbanks. They remind me a lot of Millenniums. Jack's right. It does have a super cool vibe with the old like pink and blue color scheme and the beach theme and all that. I love that. The old school car theme. But seriously, the launch is my favorite part easily. It is so punchy, so quick. I just can't put it above the others. What?
The launch is the best part of all four of them.
Maybe not Storm Runner, but the other three, yes.
Storm Runner is the only one you could make a convincing argument to me for. The launch is the best part of all four of them for me, though.
Yes, but Xcelerators is just so quick and punchy. I really, really liked it. I only got one ride on it. I wish I could have gotten more. It was so crowded at Knott's the day I went. I feel bad putting it in last because it is that good, and I really do love it. I can't put it above the other three.
Yeah, and I know I'm harping on it, and this is one of those things I kind of hold a grudge against Xcelerator because it did not meet my expectations. And so I've always been like, I should have made Ghost Rider my 200th coaster. So I've always had a grudge against it. Don't get me wrong, I love the ride. I love Xcelerators. I made a point to get on all of them as fast as I freaking could. And trust me, as soon as that one's open in Iowa, I will be getting out there as fast as possible to ride it. But yeah, it's just, when I look at it, I still give Dragster so much of an edge, but I've also always just been addicted to that ride, like, truly.
Yeah, I really do love it. I wish I could have gotten more rides on it. But yeah, it's got tough competition. That's about it.
Okay, can we complain about an actual thing that's stupid with Xcelerator?
What?
The not guaranteed getting a front row even if you wait for the front row.
I don't know what you're talking about because I did back. So
you know how it was like one gate per car?
Oh, yes, I do. Okay, that is very dumb. Yeah.
And so it's the same way for the front row. So you could wait through the entire front row ride and get up line and get up there and only get row 2.
Yeah, that's stupid.
So
I did back. I loved back. But yeah, that is kind of weird in their station. And also their ops weren't the best there. But that's not the ride's fault.
I got like a middle ride, and then I got a front row night ride during ERT.
Nice. Yeah, I love it, but sorry, just can't put it above the others. I know Klaus loves it. Shout out Klaus, he wrote it with me. But yeah, Xcelerator, you're pretty good. That's what I'll say.
So yeah, again, that's Xcelerator wheel. send us your ideas for the next wheel in Discord. Because
Right.
I honestly, like, we have a list. We usually ignore the list and do what y'all want.
Exactly, which is why you should join the Discord. Like, we take your suggestions always. So yeah,
Unless
thank
they're
you
bad.
to everybody in the Discord. Well, yeah, just anyway, halftime report. Let's talk fantasy, people.
Hold on.
Okay.
They didn't get music, so they get music now.
Da-na-na, da-na-na.
And the world is all restored. Like, peace is restored to the world now.
You're welcome, Brian. Anyways.
So, okay. Here's how this breaks down. I'm stupid because I forgot to
Yep.
switch out McCaffrey.
And you tried blaming me,
because
you idiot.
Yeah, I did. I did. I'm not gonna deny that. Yeah, so I forgot to switch out McCaffrey, so I lost because of that. Because I would have won if I'd switched out McCaffrey for someone who isn't injured. So, yeah.
But he didn't.
Congrats, Mark. Yeah.
But yeah, well, we'll talk about it in a second. Let's start off. Me versus Steven. I am going to lose. Or actually, nope, I did lose. The game is over.
Holy
We're recording really late.
Crap! I just looked at your score. What the heck happened to your team this week?
Yeah. So I didn't play. Here, let me go to my full matchup. I did not play Josh Jacobs because he was questionable. Julio was injured. And then the Patriots-Bucks game, which I played 3 people. I had Tom Brady, Antonio Brown, and Leonard Fournette. It was very rainy, so only Leonard got the ball a lot. He performed. Kelsey had a down week, so did Aaron Jones, so did Chris Carson. Keenan Allen was about what I expected. And my kicker put up 16. Thank you, Tyler Bass. But that's not going to be enough. I lost. Down week for everybody. That's okay, though. I'll bounce back. Once I get a Julio and Josh Jacobs fully healthy, I think I'll be good. Not too worried.
Yeah.
But shout out Steven. Josh Allen played good. Marquise Brown had a big week. Same with Devontae Smith. So
it looked like, just looking down, like no one on his team had like their best week, but he had just a really good week all around. Like, everyone played well.
Right. Everybody on my team had a bad week except for Tyler Bass.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did lose. I'm gonna drop to 2-2. That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, our next matchup, we got Marcus versus Bryant. And Marcus won this week. He had Saquon Barkley and Austin Eckler go off for 30 each. What?
The GWAS.
The GWAS.
Marcus. The GWAS.
Yes. Marcus just had a big week from his running backs. Well, Bryant had a pretty average week overall, it looks like. But, when you've got 2 running backs that drop 30, that's going to be tough to beat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then we've got Grant versus your dad versus Ben. So Grant won this week. He had Sam Darnold go off and also had Justin Jefferson and Zeke, 20 each. While your dad had Jalen Hurts and Najee Harris play pretty well. But, I mean, when you've got Sam Darnold dropping 32, that's also going to be really tough to beat. And just, consistently good players like Zeke and Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
Good job.
I'm looking. I get my dad definitely. If he, actually paid attention, he could have probably made some subs that could have saved him a bit. But he's not paying attention at all. So,
right now,
talking about your game. Yeah, this was probably the closest matchup of the week. Yeah,
maybe. Let me see. Hold on, just 1 second. 10.7. Okay, yep. You could have won just barely if you would have started AJ Dillon instead of McCaffrey.
Oh yeah, no, I did the math earlier. So yeah, like.
Mm-hmm.
Because
or if you would have.
We're recording this actually super late, so like everything just went, like all the scores literally just went final. So.
Yes. So yeah. You play McCaffrey, you probably win depending on who you play in his place. But you had Herbert play well, Robinson played well. My dad has Patrick Mahomes, Derrick Henry, David Montgomery, DeAndre Hopkins, and Chris Godwin playing.
Yeah.
He's got a really good team.
Got a really good team.
How did he end up getting this team? I don't even know.
I don't know.
Shout out my dad.
I just remember getting out of a car and taking over the draft from you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And then I guess we'll finish it off with the big winner this week. Perry, what in the Sam heck is this score?
Yeah, so Perry, who was 0-3 up to this point, just destroyed Allison with 176 points. So Tyreek Hill dropped 50, and Cordero
Yeah,
Patterson
Tyreek
dropped
Hill
35.
carried like a third of his points for him.
He was very smart with who he started this week. Good job, Perry. The Cordero Patterson pickup is very, very smart. He knew what he was doing there. And then Allison's team is really good too. It performed
He
well.
just
It
don't
put up
stand a chance against
137.
this.
Yeah, I mean, she had McLaurin and Debo put up 30 plus.
She
You
would have
just
beat
can't
any
beat.
other person this week. If she played anyone else, she would have won, but she played Perry.
Yeah, you're not gonna beat Tyreek and Cordell Patterson like that. So congratulations, Perry. You're no longer defeated. You're now only tied for last. Congratulations, sir.
Yeah, tied for last with me
What? Wait,
in the
no, hold on.
division.
What is your record now?
It's 1-3.
You've only won one time?
Yes.
How?
I don't know, Mister. I picked this team for.
Either you just weren't paying attention to who you started or hold
No,
up.
like, yeah, I'm being like perfectly honest.
Jeez.
Like, this has not been a priority for me. I've had so much else
Oh,
I've
I know.
needed to take care of. And
You're
so I
good.
usually, by the time I remember, I should probably go look at my lineup for this week, it's Thursday night.
Yeah, I'm just glad I'm not in last. Perry popped off. That's what I'm gonna finish with. Good for Perry.
Good for Perry.
Right. But that was the halftime report. Quick little update. And now it's time for some questions.
Got some good questions this week. This first one, I'm interested to see if we're going to have the same or different opinion.
Okay.
So
So
the first question is, with the addition of Jersey Devil clone to Magic Mountain, or Jersey Devil near clone to Magic Mountain, does Six Flags Magic Mountain edge out Cedar Point and have a better lineup? And if not, how close is it? Or if it is, how close is it?
yeah, this is
I'm
from
going to say
Grant.
no. Yeah, it's from Grant, and I'm going to say no. Even with the addition of a Raptor, they're not going to edge out Cedar Point. Magic Mountain's got a really strong top two, and then after that, it's a sizable jump for me before you get to anything else, where Cedar Point has 4 roller coasters that I consider fantastic, and then a really good supporting cast that I would still take the supporting cast at Cedar Point most of the time over the supporting cast at Magic Mountain.
Yeah, it's really close for me on which I like more. Cedar Point. I mean, when you have 4 solid B&Ms as your filler, it's that gives it the edge for me. But I still think Magic Mountain has really good filler.
They
It's just
know this.
not
They definitely do.
it's not up to Cedar Point's level. I would probably, well, I don't know. X2 and Twisted Colossus versus Steel Vengeance and Maverick and Millennium is very close for me. But I'd have to take Cedar Point's a little bit. I still think Cedar Point's lineup will be better. I mean, you already know the Raptor won't do much for me personally.
Well, and like I've ridden all of the Raptors now, and Jersey Devil's great, but I honestly like Stunt Pilot more.
Ugh.
That should tell you how Jersey Devil's running when I rode it. But that's the thing about Matt. So yeah, it's like Chris said, you've got X2, which you all know it is one of my favorite rides on the planet. There's no need in denying that. But then I look at Cedar Point, and they've got Maverick, Millennium Force, Steel Vengeance, Dragster. All of those rides have been in my top 10 at some point. Some of them still are. And then you've got the supporting cast of Raptor, Gatekeeper, Rugasnews, Valraven, and those are all like decent rides. And if you put them at pretty much any park that's not Cedar Point or Magic Mountain, they would be a top 3, if not the best ride at that park. And then just comparing it to Magic Mountain, again, X2 Colossus are top tier, but then you get to like Goliath, not as good. Superman, not as good as like Dragster would be. Batman clone versus Raptor. I think I would give the edge to Scream over Rugasnews, because I'm calling it Rugasnews. That should tell you my opinion on it. But then just looking at the rest of the B&M collection, I'm sorry, Green Lantern's trash. Not Green Lantern. Riddler's Revenge is trash.
Well, I mean, we have a slightly differing opinion because Cedar Point. Okay, first off, Dragster is not on the other three's level at Cedar Point. It's just not, in my opinion. So to me, they have more of a top 3 than a top 4. So you take that and compare it to Magic Mountain's top 2. I cannot say how much I love Magic Mountain's top 2 without understating it. It's just hard to take them over the other 3. It's incredibly, incredibly close. But I still would have to go with Cedar Point's top 3. And then Magic Mountain has more filler. Magic Mountain has a lot of good filler, but Cedar Point's filler is just higher quality, barely. Yeah, Magic Mountain's it's already very close, and even with the Raptor, it moves a little bit closer, I guess, but it won't make that much of a difference. Now, we did have an extension to this question from Bryant, and that was, could Hershey top both Cedar Point and Magic Mountain with RMC Wildcat?
I'm gonna say no.
I'm gonna say no too, because still,
the only standout at Hershey for me is Skyrush. Yes, Stormrunner is great. Yes, they've got some solid woodies and some good filler, but the only standout is Skyrush. Cedar Point's got 3 of them. Magic Mountain's got 2 of them.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. As overall well-rounded Hershey's collection is, Skyrush is the only ride comparable to X2, Twisted Colossus, Maverick, Millennium, and Steel Vengeance as far as how good they are. And as much as I mean, I love Skyrush. I'll just say it. I love Skyrush more than any of those other rides I listed. But the rest isn't as good.
Yeah,
it's incredibly well-rounded, but it's not
like
up to that standard.
Everything else, whereas the other parks are like, more evenly at the top. So, okay, there's that. We'll get more. We're going to have plenty of Hershey talk. Don't worry, people. And so this next one is, what is the 208 retrack? This is from Mikhail. So 208 retrack is RMC's answer to, 1, them getting rid of Topper, and 2, the Gravity Group new prefab track, and also the GCI rivet rails, as I've nicknamed them. And so basically it's a modified version of iBox track that's designed to be able to handle normal, like, wooden coaster rolling stock, Millennium Flyers, PTCs, Timberliners, trains like that. The track is just slightly modified so it can handle that type of rolling stock. It's very similar. If you want to know what it looks like, I got some pictures of it on Twitter and Instagram on Trimmers. But it's also very similar to the new Texas Giant track, like how it looks. That's what it looks like, is how the new Texas Giant track looks like. And then I guess the big thing is, how does it ride? It runs super smooth. It feels like a steel coaster or a brand new Woody if you've ridden a wooden coaster right after it opened. But doesn't feel like a steel coaster. Like, you're not like, oh yeah, I'm on steel track. It feels like you're on a wooden coaster, because I'm assuming it's down to the fact that the tolerances aren't perfect, so you still get to like shuffle through the turns, and you can still feel the train bump. and they're still running steel wheels on it, so you're getting those imperfections of a steel wheel on the track. So it still feels like a wood coaster, just cuts down on maintenance a ton and will like keep rides running good. And also, if trimmers and how fast it was running on that track is anything to say, I wouldn't mind it showing up on some other high maintenance woodies because it would help the speed and the maintenance. So there's my little bit on 208 retrack. If you want some for your roller coaster, call RMC. Not that any parks listen to us.
Jeffrey Siebert follows us, but he doesn't even have a wooden coaster. So yeah, there I ain't gonna say nothing. That's all him. Shout out that, I guess. Okay, this is a good one from Bryant. If the Braves and Bucks were a specific roller coaster, what would they be? I am going to just go straight in and say that the Bucks would be Jackrabbit at Kennywood, because overall it's pretty terrible, but it will have like one moment where it's really, really, really good, and that's about it. That's been my Buccaneer experience. We sucked for 17 years, then we got Tom Brady, and now everything is perfect. So I think that's a good answer. I thought about this one a lot, if you couldn't tell.
That's not at all where I was expecting you to take this, but
it's true. Like, that's the best example I can think of. We have like one or two good moments in our history that are really, really good. Everything else is just kind of whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
we got our 2 rings, our double down. More to come.
Yeah. Okay, the Brave. And so if you can't tell, he's picked these based off our favorite sports teams. Chris is obviously a massive Bucks fan, and I am a diehard Braves fan. Y'all,
you're not a diehard Braves fan. You just care about the mascot, you weirdo.
I have been a Braves fan since before Blooper existed.
Fan. I'm kidding.
Yeah. Anyway. Blooper is amazing, don't get me wrong. I love whatever
no one cares
that
about
thing
Blooper.
Is. Everyone cares about Blooper. But I digress. The Braves are interesting because we're not amazing, but we're not terrible. And we have our moments of being great, but we definitely aren't great all the time. And so I'm trying to think of like a ride that's like super temperamental, like that runs really good one day and then runs like crap the next. And so I'm going to give it to the Beast because I've ridden the Beast one day and been like, yeah, that's amazing. And then we go ride the next day. I'm like, what the heck happened overnight? Which is basically us. I would like to remind any of our Dodger fans that I still hate you because we were leading 3-0 in the series, and then we let you take us. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. But also, if I can just like get real for a millisecond, can I theme the Fun Spot Atlanta RMC to the Braves, please? Please, 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 please.
No. We don't want to get sidetracked on that, though, because I can talk about that ride for a while. I'm so excited for that. But yeah, I think my answer is super accurate, and I can also understand yours. That's a good question, though. I like that one. Thank you, Brian.
I do like that one. We should do it again with some, like, we don't have to necessarily do it with our sports teams. We should just do it with other sports teams.
I'm down. But yeah, okay. Next up, from Grant. What are some jokes in the coaster community / this podcast that will always be funny no matter how often it's said? That time
Can I get a oh yeah?
Fight me, that's not funny anymore.
I mean, I can think of one off the top of my head that like deserves to be on this list for this podcast specifically.
What?
I put Jesus on a cross.
Yep. I completely agree. That was... You're welcome. That was a good one.
That's a top tier moment.
In the community, I don't know. I mean, this community can make a lot of things go old really quick. So
don't pass out Marcus.
That's always a good one, just because making fun of Marcus is always a solid option.
Yeah, it's like so the other night in the Drunk Riders Discord server, I was in a memeing mood, so I was like, okay, who should I meme? And someone said Marcus. I was like, yeah, that's a safe bet. He's Marcus. He can always find something to meme.
Right. Yeah, I'd
Love you,
probably say
boo.
that's the most consistent one. Um, Making fun of Marcus. Yeah, I'll stick with that too.
Yeah, making fun of Marcus, the put Jesus on a cross. There are other ones that we're not going to talk about because, you know.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a couple more. Let's get through them. What are your favorite ways to pass the time in lines, whether with a big group or just on your own? This is from Allison. Well, if you're with a big group, depending on the people, I mean, if it's a Buzz Bars meetup, obviously we're just hanging, like, and we're having a good time. If not, I just go on my phone, I guess. Taking pictures is always a good option if you have the angles from the queue. I know Jack will agree with me there.
Yeah, taking pictures in the queue is definitely one. Um, buzzed bars can go through the green glass door, but American Coaster enthusiasts can't.
That was that was funny because Bryant was getting frustrated, but
That was
was a
so
little
funny
annoying
because
after a little bit. It was
oh
funny
no,
watching
trust me, I'm
Bryant
like
get so mad.
it was like how much longer am I gonna have to do this before you catch on? It's like Dollywood can go through the green glass door, but Wood can't. Like how much obvious? No,
Hmm.
that was funny. Then I'm just trying. I was literally, she asked this question. I was like, oh, that day at Dollywood will be a great example because we did do a lot of stupid games that day. The alphabet game was fun. I think my favorite, did we do it at Carowinds when we did the dialect thing?
What? Oh,
The,
yes. That was
yeah.
just a good
So
conversation in general.
it was, so okay, here's, if you need a conversation to have and you're with people that are not from the same area as you, pull up the like guess where you're from based off how you talk. Like Chris and I would
Bubbler.
call it a water fountain. Bryant, who is wrong, would call it a bubbler.
There ain't no wrong or right here. I call it a bubbler sometimes now because of him.
You've gone to the dark side.
That's funny. Bubbler's like way better than water fountain.
Okay, so apparently, so I'm in one of my classes today, and we actually were having this discussion, ironically. And there's an Australian in my class, and he just like pops up out of nowhere and is like, "Oh yeah, we call them bubblers in Australia too." And I'm like, "You're not helping my case here."
Bubbler. Whoops. I'm cool with bubbler. But yeah,
Yeah.
if you have good people to talk to, that's the way to go always. I mean,
What if they RMC'd it
that was a good time.
for you?
Man, I miss Rattler.
Me
I
too.
miss Rattler now. But yeah, good question. And our
Yeah,
last one:
there's
what new
tons
Vekoma
of stuff to
model?
do with
Oh,
groups.
yeah,
Sorry.
definitely. Especially join Buzzbars. Shut up. That's the best group.
I finally did. Whoop whoop.
Good for you. Okay, last one from Klaus. What new Vekoma model do you think will sell the most? Whatever
I don't
Asia
know because
wants.
none of them are showing up in America.
Yeah, whatever Asia wants, I guess. Probably one of the new LSMs, either that or the little mega ones that they built like 2 or 3 of already over in China.
Mhm.
Um,
Like I think it's the Firestorm
yes, that's one of them.
seems
And I
popular.
Shockwave maybe is Abyssus type, which I could see a lot of those too, because
I
I know
can't
they're
really
building
tell the
some in Asia.
difference between any of them, but I think I'm just gonna generalize and say like the Vekoma LSM launches like Abyssus and some of the ones we've
Yeah,
seen pop up in China, whatever like their subcategory is. Sure, I don't know, but I'm just gonna broaden it and say LSM Vekoma launches.
right. Yeah, either that or those like 100-foot tall chain lift ones, like the clone
Mm-hmm.
version of that.
Like let.
No, I like the ones that they built in China that were like formula at Energylandia, but with a lift
Oh
hill.
yeah, that's right.
They've built like 2 or 3 of those already. So
Mm-hmm.
I'd say
But
one of
also
those. And those are really
Lek.
small.
Can we have more
I
Lek,
wish
please?
we're getting another one. And
Yeah, but not in
for
the
Pokemon.
States.
We're not gonna ever get anything Vekoma, I don't think, unless it's Disney anymore. But yeah, that's what I'd
Sad
say.
but true.
Okay. We ready?
Yeah, so that was listener questions. If you've got questions you want us to answer, join the Discord. We will answer any and all questions for the most part. But with that, we're going to jump into a 10-year plan for Hershey. So we've done one or two of these in the past. The big one we did was an episode called Saving King's Dominion, where we talked about saving King's Dominion from its impending doom with, Bush being Bush, but COVID helped that out.
Yes, it did a lot.
So now we're just going to talk about a park that we both really love, but, it could be better. So we're going to make it better.
That's right. So, Hershey. The reason why we went with Hershey mainly is because of the stuff with Sidewinder. We just kind of tried to pick a park and we were like, well, that's happening. We'll go with that. So we'll just start off. The pretty easy one, if it actually happens, 2022, remove Sidewinder. And that's about it.
Yeah. Basically, if we're wrong about this, we're wrong about everything. Like, this is the linchpin. So if we were wrong about Sidewinder, we're wrong about everything.
Mm-hmm.
But this is our podcast and we can do what we want. So, yeah, 2022 Sidewinder goes bye-bye, whether it goes to a trash can or to someone in China. We don't know. We don't care.
I'm cool with it leaving.
Yeah. And then in 2023, not wasting any time, thrilling flat ride or right in the spot of Sidewinder.
Right. As of what it would be, I'm not sure. There's plenty of options they could go with. But it's been a while since they've had flats added. I think Hershey Triple Tower was the last ones. So
and
I'd say it's definitely about time.
Yeah, a lot of people don't consider the Triple Tower as a huge success. So thoughts might be like a giant Discovery or some type of pendulum ride. I don't think they have an S&S Scream and Swing, so you could put something like that in there. There's options.
Yep. Yeah, there's not much you could fit in that plot as far as like a coaster or anything, so it would make sense for it to be a flat.
Yeah, the only roller coaster that would fit in that plot that's of decent scale would be an RMC Raptor, but Hershey doesn't need a Raptor.
Gerstlauer.
Yeah, you could fit a Gerstlauer.
But also capacity and what's the need?
Well, and Fahrenheit is right there, and Fahrenheit's like the most Gerstlauer acting Intamin there is.
That's true. So yeah, 2023, thrilling flat ride in Sidewinder's plot. And then 2024, water park expansion. Breaker's Edge was their last water park expansion. This is something that they definitely need to do every couple of years, is add something to the water park to keep people more involved. We know that water parks are always huge winners for theme parks. So something added there. It could be small. It could be a big new side complex. Either way, just anything, it would work.
Mm-hmm. It'll have been like, I think 2019 was the last time they put something in the water park. And so it'll have been time for them to add something new in there. So it's like Chris said, could be as simple as a splash pad, could be some new drop slides or something like that. But water park year for 2024.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then in 2025, yeah, you got it.
Yeah, jumping into 2025, this is just going to be general park improvements. So Hershey's Chocolate Town entrance world will have opened in 2020, so it's been 5 years since they've really done like a major like park improvements year. So this will be the year they go back through, renovate some buildings, clean up some paths, all of that. And then the other thing, kids enhancements. You got to constantly be investing in your kids and family rides to keep that side of like your audience coming back. You can't just be a thrill park, so you got to work on the kids rides. So couple of kids rides, maybe overhaul a kids area, something like that for 2025. Nothing too expensive, nothing too crazy, just something you got to do.
Yeah. It's never a bad thing to just take a year to do small stuff like that. So 2025 makes sense, right in the middle, and it will have been a while since they've had a year like that. But then 2026 is where we get a little bit interesting. We say RMC Wildcat. I know a lot of people will go against that, but Lightning Racer is still solid. Wildcat, look, first GCI, I still don't see it as much significance, really. It's like, whatever.
It's not the beast, people. It's not that significant.
Exactly. RMCing it would definitely be, something that did make its lineup top tier. Even if they didn't do a ton with the layout, it would still be great. I'd love to see that happen.
Yeah, it's not gonna be Steel Vengeance or Zadra or Lightning Rod or anything like that. It's gonna be Joker, Twisted Cyclone. I get all of those confused. It's gonna be something like that. Those are still fantastic rides. So there's nothing wrong with that. Great investment for Hershey. It would give that back corner of the park a little pop, especially since really since Fahrenheit went in, nothing major. Laugh track's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Nothing major has gone back there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this is one that realistically I don't know if it'll happen, just because I feel like it would have already happened if they wanted to do this, you know. But this is our list. This is what I would prefer them to do as far as their wooden coasters and RMC. 2026
Yep.
seems like a good time.
Yeah, I agree. And then 2027, you're just going to go back in, do some more water parks, because if you'd had a pretty decent gap between your water park years in 19 and 24, so you're going to want to go back in there decently quick. This one would definitely probably be on the smaller side, though, just splash pad improvements, make the water park work better, just function better.
Mm-hmm.
Coming off the tails of RMC Wildcat. Also, with RMC Wildcat, you're going to draw more foot traffic to the back where the water park is. So naturally,
Right.
water park should
And
be
I
on the
mean,
list.
just in general, water park expansions is probably something that's way underrated, because it will make you a ton of money that you
Oh
can
yeah,
use
like
everywhere else. It's something you have to do
Holiday
often.
World finances the Voyage retracts with the water park. So
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. That makes sense for 2027. 2028 would be just another small family year. Filler year pretty much to build up to something larger. Also, it will have been since 2025 since they added anything family related, and they just added something thrilling 2 years before. Makes sense. It's just the
yep,
right timing.
family rides maybe could possibly be a small family coaster. Don't expect much though.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2029, jumping back in with another thrilling flat or thrilling collection of flats. Again, Hershey's flat lineup is not like the absolute strongest thing in the world, so just putting in something along that lines just helps a lot. It could again be anything I named before or something new. Flat rides are constantly getting invented and stuff like that, so we could see something new get installed around this time. So
Right. Yeah. It. I mean, it makes sense since it will have been what, 2023. Yeah, 2023 since their last one, and just adding to that collection is always a good thing. Um, and then moving into 2030 would just be a general park improvement year, because it's time to start land clearing and saving for 2031.
So 2031 will be Hersheypark's 125th anniversary. So, of course, usually big anniversaries mean big present, right? And we're thinking, present should be a roller coaster because we're coaster enthusiasts.
Of course. So 2031, what will they be adding? A dive from B&M, which, what, as far as the location me and Jack picked out, it would take up a little bit of the space of the parking lot back behind what is now RMC Wildcat, and the entrance plaza station and queue and all that would be basically between Fahrenheit's Cobra Roll and one of Wildcat's helixes. You just move out a couple little stands there. You've got
Cool,
a
some
nice little area to
trees.
fit that
Yep.
in.
And you could go, there's plenty of parking spots. There's also some just grassing fields out there already. So you could go as big of a dive as you wanted, 200 plus feet, or you could go more the compact route like a Baron 1898 or Emperor if you wanted, or Dr. Diabolical. That ride's not open, so I keep forgetting.
Exactly. Yeah. So this would be an easy option for them to celebrate their anniversary with, while not having to spend a ton if they went with a smaller edition, and also be something that will for sure draw people in, because the closest dive to them would be what, Griffin,
Williamsburg.
which definitely
Yeah.
I don't think what
I said Williamsburg,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think those are really competing that much. So you wouldn't have an issue having something 150 plus feet that dives vertically straight down. Would definitely be something that would draw in crowds for your 125th anniversary.
Also, we're talking about a ride that's at this point 10 years out, and we've seen B&M's already willing to do a little more with Dr. Diabolical, so who's to say, like, I made the crazy joke earlier. Oh, what if they did a 125-degree drop for their 125th anniversary? It'd be funny. It won't happen, but it'd be funny. But also,
I
B&M
wouldn't-
could surprise us in the next 10 years.
Mhm. I mean,
So
that'd be cool, but I don't see that happening. Dive makes sense though for their anniversary.
yeah,
So, Hershey, we know you're listening. We expect to check in the mail when all of this happens IRL.
if we
But
even
yeah.
get a couple of these things right, we're gonna gloat about it.
Oh, for sure. Same with King's Dominion if that ever happened. But
I don't
yeah,
even remember what
this
we
is how
predicted
we
for
would
King's
make Hershey.
Dominion.
This is how we would make Hershey even sweeter. One of the best places ever. I love that park so much. Dive and RMC Wildcat. I'd love that.
But like, let's be honest, if they did none of this, as long as Skyrush is around, we'll keep going back.
Definitely. Shout out Hersheypark. But yeah, that's our 10-year plan. We're curious. What would you change? What would you do differently? Let us know in the Discord. Link in the description. And I think
Also,
that
did
does
we
it.
miss any like ride removals that you think like that's going out in the next 10 years? So
That's true as well. Let us know. Link in description for Discord.
yeah.
everything
and
else.
with that, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this week's show. Of course, make sure, like we said at the top of the show, make sure you're following us on Twitter, Instagram. You can follow us on Twitter at @twisted_travelers, Twitter at @twistedtraveler, but the R at the end is the one. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Thrilling Moment. You can follow Twist. I just called you Twist. How does that make you feel?
I don't even care. It's okay.
It's me trying to say Twisted Travelers Chris all at once. You can follow Chris at Twisted Travelers Chris on Instagram. Guests are coming back soon. Won't say who yet, but they're coming back soon, so stay tuned for that. And otherwise, y'all have a good week.
Thank you for listening. See you next time. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to the Twisted Travelers Podcast.